Shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, and double honors here, elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers on the land. Good millstones, salutations to the hopefully elect. This is your brother Ra'ai Banyamian, here to share another lesson. Lately I've been seeing, this buy now, pay later feature, when I'm shopping online, particularly on Amazon, or if if I take my car to the shop, the merchant have a buy now pay later option for consumers. I thought about that. With how difficult everything is. Just to hold on to it. Whether it be your vehicle repairs, expenses. So let's say with a vehicle repair, you put the buy here pay, the buy now pay later feature on that, right? Couple $100 or thousands of dollars on that. Then I've seen it at Walmart too as well, right? So you put groceries on that every week or every month. Then you got your regular credit cards that already have a revolving balance and stuff on it. I mean, like, people are going to be tapped out, man, because there's only so much you could do that for. I no wonder why a lot of people are frustrated, man, because these bills got to be paid at some particular point, and you got to work out how to utilize your paychecks and stuff to pay that. So it's like no rest, man. So these things is gonna cause people to revolt. So I want to share this article on Forbes Advisor. It was written 4 days ago on November 22nd of this year. Editor Corina Bailey, contributor John Egan. So I was going to share this article, put up a few scriptures, and close it out. It says consumers plan to lean heavily on buy now, pay later this season. It says with inflation continuing to plague the United States as we head into the holiday season, shoppers are seeking any sort of monetary relief they can get. This includes short-term buy now, pay later loans. Many consumers, especially young ones, prefer BNPL, buy now, pay later, over other financial options thanks to the lack of interest charges, simple approval process, and ease of use. A buy now, pay later plan lets you stretch out equal payments over the course of several months, making it useful for big-ticket purchases like a TV or a sofa. Then the former CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, says to hold your cash and put off large payments like a TV or a refrigerator or a vehicle. And this is what they're telling people is likely to buy here. When you pay off a BNPL loan on time and in full, you can often avoid interest charges. Borrowers typically find it easier to qualify for a BNPL loan from lenders such as Affirm. I've seen Affirm there. Even when I paid, when I buy stuff online or whatever, I've seen they had that option. I buy Affirm, buy here, pay here, Afterpay or Klarna than a traditional credit card or loan. However, some buy now, pay here, pay later loans offer 0% interest for only a certain period of time, meaning you might be stuck with interest payments down the road. Other BNPL loan options charge interest from the get-go. Also, some BNPL plans hit borrowers with fees, and if you pay late, it might show up on your credit reports. In November, Forbes Advisor One poll surveyed 1,000 American consumers who have used BNPL at least once to learn about their experiences, to learn what their experiences have been, what they think of the popular financing trend, and how they might use it this holiday. Now it has become a trend because people have used, a lot of their their savings and stuff, man. Within the last 2 years, especially with the prices of gas, inflation, groceries, and they're saying that this winter the electricity and gas bill is gonna go up. You know what I mean? So it's gonna put more financial strain on people. So pretty much, you living day to day like a beggar, man. Lord tell us, lead not, a beggar's life. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna read that right quick. In the book of Sirach, chapter 40 and verse 28. It says, "My son, lead not a beggar's life, for it is better to die than to beg." No, it's not always a pride thing, but it shows that you can't take care of yourself, and then when you beg once, more than likely you gotta beg again. The life of him that depended on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man well nurtured, but beware of it. Yeah, because it could be corrupted. They could get you to do what I would call fancy things, you know what I mean, because you're relying on them there, or at least the wicked could do that, so it's better, like they're saying, it's better to learn how to fish than to beg for fish, all the time, have your own fishing line or whatever to fish. It says, "Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly shall burn the fire." I mean, because it's not a good thing, man. When you're begging, that you should do better. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking once or twice or whatever, but it's not a good life to beg, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is pretty much what you're doing here. And with all these feet here, this is what most people would be doing. Notice a lot of you have like mothers with their children on the side of the highways and stuff, with a sign and a bucket, pretty much begging for money. And that's a shameful thing, you know what I mean? I don't think any man, any Israelite man in his right mind, is gonna feel proud to have his woman, or a pregnant woman that is, standing up on the on the highway with a sign and a bucket, begging for money. It's a shameful life, you know what I'm saying? So going back to the article, it says the survey findings indicate BNPL will be almost as popular among holiday shoppers as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yet this payment method could nip at their finances the way Jack Frost nips at people. This is crazy as hell. Yeah, because it's gonna come at you, later on, especially if a emergency happens, man. What if you need a root canal or something like that? And those are small emergencies compared to like going to the emergency room, where a trip, that ride, man, could be an expensive ride, a couple $1,000, and this is America. Continuing on, it says Americans plan to lean on buy now, pay later this holiday season. It says survey findings demonstrate the widespread use of BNPL, with 5 major players in the industry generating 180 million loans in 2021, totaling more than 24 billion according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yeah, it's got to be from the interest rates. In the survey, 64% say they'll use BNPL to buy gifts this holiday season, and many of those shoppers might fork over more money than they intended. 70% of those surveyed say they would use BNPL to spend more than they had planned. And a lot of the people that use these things to their credit cards are maxed out. You know? At the end of the day, it comes down to greed and discipline too, man. This is why I'm happy, and we should be happy that we no longer, celebrate these holidays trying to please, men, with gifts, and then to outside of that, pretty much controlling your appetite. Some people got expensive hobbies that, may be lawful, but it might not be expedient. Says, continuing on, the survey also indicates shoppers aren't necessarily using BNPL for big ticket items. The most popular type of purchases are clothing, electronics, and shoes. And 40% of those surveyed say they'd use BNPL for a purchase under $100. Continuing on, Howard Vorkin, chairman of Debt.com, says BNPL can be a useful tool or a harmful one. Vorkin says that you might come out ahead if you use a BNPL loan and pay it off before interest charges kick in, instead of carrying a balance on high interest credit card. And most people is going to do the latter. They're going to carry the high interest. You know what I mean? Because if they already have high paying bills, the inflation, high gas prices, 9 times out of 10 they are going to carry that bill. Very few people is going to use that to build credit. Says, but you need to be a checklist kind of person, someone who regularly keeps tabs on the deadlines in their life. Otherwise, those advantages evaporate. Now, this is the last section I'm going to read here. Article is kind of lengthy, but I'm going to see if I can leave a link in the description. For the lesson. Consumers use buy here, pay later in surprising ways. The top reason cited for using BNPL is to reduce the impact of big purchase, 66%. But the second reason is more open to interpretation. More than half, 51%, say they'll use it to buy something they can't afford right now. Meanwhile, 70% will consider BNPL for everyday purchase. That's a lot of people. 1 in 5 respondents would use it for something under $50. Ed Mierzwinski, Senior Director of the Consumer Program at the nonprofit watchdog group PIRG, cautions against relying on BNPL to pay for everyday purchases like food and gas. Now, when they come out with what do you call that thing? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that thing where you no longer have like a paycheck, but the government is allotting a certain amount of money to you, whether it be bi-weekly or at the end of the month to buy your stuff. When those things come out, these people is gonna jump on it because the buy here, pay here is setting them up, for those I forget the word, man. For those those payments. That's what it is. It's a universal basic income. That's what it is. Universal basic income, UBI. You should never pay over time for easy payments for something you will need to replace sooner. You will need food and gas again before you finish paying for it. That is true. and it will accrue interest. Mrozwinski says these consumers need better budget planning, not more opportunities to spend money. In fact, a recently published academic study found that new BNPL users experience rapid increases in overdraft fees and credit card interest and fees compared with non-users. The study looked at banking data for 10.6 million US consumers. The researchers say their study underscores concerns about the potential harm BNPL may be doing overall spending habits and financial health. Now, this is frustrating, man. And whoever wants to stay here and go through all these things and live these things, under Esau is sick in the head, man. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, we need to be financially responsible. A lot of time it be a spirit on you, that I'd like to spend like that. These things could be remedied by prayer and by fasting. But the scriptures also told us, we would work much and bring in little. I'm gonna read that in the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6. It says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes." So everything is fleecing. It's like putting water in your hands, right? And it slowly seeps so you can't hold on to it. Regardless of how tight you clench your fingers together, it seeps out until there's no water in your hand. And this is what finances is to us in this society, as Israelites under these curses. And these things are also happening to the Edomite and the heathen nations in America and in around the world. Alright, so we have to trust in our power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, for our provisions and our sustenance. Alright, and at this particular time, if you do have these things, thank Him every day, for the Lord is a God of mercy. Thank Him for these things and pray that He provide whatever it is we need according to His will, because this is no life to live, man. Buy here, pay later. Alright. So again, the title of the article, title of the lesson, is consumers lean heavily on buy now, pay later this season. Hopefully you are edified. Shalom.